Hello all, and welcome back to the Inexorables. This is our 16th session. We return to the party as you guys have finished a long rest after having your commander's bout, in which you dueled representatives of the Rigid Horde for the hand of a moon giant. And by hand, we mean possible...
Marriage.
Marriage. Just, you're marrying him. No.
To join our party.
Congratulations, I guess.
Effectively to get him to follow you and
Really
possibly
become married.
join your group. He ended up, after your negotiation and combat prowess being shown, deciding that he would follow you guys back to the City of Stars, which is what Revedan is kind of known as, and to go from there. And probably return back up to the Rigid Horde and visit with them again. And then at that point, make a final decision. So, you guys have him as a companion for your approximate 3-day trek back to Revedan. You guys were told, after getting a little bit of information, specifically from the Kerk Longsteel of the Rigid Horde, that the banners of Gislin have been called.
Roll well.
I didn't laugh. You paused.
Which
Go on,
yeah,
Zach.
because Thomas is pogging over there.
Keep it coming.
Yep.
God,
Don't stop.
damn it.
Don't stop. Keep going.
You aren't finished yet. Keep going.
I love Aiden's face. Okay, so...
Well, part of the thing was that I had, my Discord set on my other screen, but honestly my camera's on here, so if I wanted to look at myself pogging, I had to look over here, but then that wasn't straight on. I've moved it now.
So, as you guys return from the Iron Hills, heading south, you guys took a long rest, where Gendo was camped, and woke up. Some of you waking up early to go pick up the cart and carriage that you guys had, that you had left at the Ironside Rest, the Hillside Rest, something like that. Regardless, we begin as you guys are getting on the road. Are there any particular details you guys would like to talk about? Any RP or anything, or are we just getting on the road?
Oh no.
I'm trying to remember whether this was mentioned in character last session or not. Linen / not DM Zach. Did we mention things that could make people bigger? You know, if you had any potions that effect.
Like, I mean, yeah,
So
just
you're asking for yourself, or
I mean, I have
for
some-
others.
I have some stuff, but if it lasts for 4 hours, and it's not really, for the whole person, it's more like a certain body part.
Well, yeah, fighting these giants that could grow. I was thinking that somebody like Sakir could be empowered a lot by that. So I'm wondering if there's any way I could replicate it. And I thought I'd see if there were any alchemical solutions first and foremost.
I mean, if we're talking about strictly blood flow,
also, for out of character context, I'm talking about the spell.
He is a tentacular man, so I'm sure it would engorge the proper parts.
Sakir, if we increase the amount of blood flow in your transformed state, do you think you would grow bigger?
something would grow bigger.
Dude. I have to cut in and just say, I'm imagining Sakir, like, bloody stalks from his arms that no longer can turn liquid. They're just full rigid as he has a raging hard-on as he runs into battle.
I'm just
12-foot
laughing.
penis slapping against his thighs.
I'm just imagining, of course, Linweave would have
Yes,
gas
Viagra.
station dick pills.
He would have Viagra. Alright, continuing on.
Blue Rhino.
You're all wrong for that.
Continue.
I made sure not to laugh at Gislin. Let me have this.
This one was funnier than Gislin, that's for sure.
Lynn is
Thank you,
actually
thank you.
asking Secure this. Secure, would this help you? Would this help you in your blood transformed state? If we increase the blood flow.
I look up
Do
at
you?
Leopold. I look down at Lennon. I look up at Leopold. I pat Lennon on the head. I'll explain to you what you just asked later, but I do not believe so.
I will try it in combat next time. Man.
I would
No,
rather
no,
not,
we
but
tested first. I just might have the two of you come by the manor and we'll do it in the basement so Yvonne doesn't have to convince.
yes, see, your terminology there is very, very nuanced. It can be interpreted in many different ways.
I mean, I have a
For those
laboratory in the basement.
Since he
I
goes
do
into a
many
blood
things
range,
down
we
What
there.
can-
kind of
Yeah.
laboratory? What kind of things
Just
do you
in
keep down
case.
there?
Mostly weapons. I also have a shooting range.
Although if he goes into a blood rage, we may need to prepare bindings.
I did want to talk about that with you guys on a later date. In all seriousness, I felt on the verge of losing control in the combat today, and that was dangerous. I might have, honestly, been close to killing that one giant, that one Goliath.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for the rules for no killing, piercing a dude's neck is definitely a choice.
I agree.
Although kudos to your level of precision. To stab someone in the neck and not kill them. Quite impressive.
Yeah, I re-aimed instead of through the jugular, up through the jaw in the last moments. But it was in the last moments I didn't anticipate moving in such a way. But yes, that is discussion for later. I wanted to apologize for that, mostly because it's pretty obvious that that was in a fit of rage, and he did almost die. Anyway, no, I will not take your erection pills. Thank you.
Anything about erection pills?
He's not talking to you. He's talking to Leopold, so he's not even looking at you.
Again, I wouldn't particularly call them erection pills. I suppose you could say that by making you larger, they're making your entire body more erect, but that doesn't quite.
I said I'm
seem
not
to be what
interested.
we're going
Thank you.
for.
As
walking.
Secure is walking away towards the cart. As you guys prepare all of your things and throw them back into the cart, get the horses back attached, Gendo will not be riding in. He will be walking beside you guys in his giant form, as he does not. He wishes to stand tall below whatever sun or stars are above. So. Yes, Rekus, go ahead.
So, Rikus will attach his trunk to the back of the carriage,
Okay.
and then he will adjust the carriage attachment so he can fit baby under there. And he'll turn to the party and say, if traveling through the night is, well, our only option, then we'll take night shifts. And we will all ride in the carriage. If everyone's okay with that.
I suppose if we have another choice to get there as swiftly as possible.
If we must.
What you guys are complaining about? You guys only need 4 hours of rest.
Very true.
4 hours of shitty rest is still 4 hours of shitty rest, though.
Try it.
Okay,
I'm good
so
now.
as we get onto the road, I'll turn to Gendo and say, "Well, sir, are you? Since we'll be traveling through the night, I'm assuming you'll need your rest as well. Are you able to sleep in your smaller forms?"
I have participated in many a travel and battle that lasted through more than 5 days. I will be fine to walk all the way to Revedan if that is our only option. However, I am curious to meet these masters of yours that choose to run you ragged through the night. Your mortal coils are far less durable than that of many creatures that I know of.
I mean, we had to face a moon giant. That's much more, much more dangerous than what we're endeavoring now.
Yes.
Besides, it's not like we're in a hurry all the time.
Yes. Just that there appears to be some matter that we're desperately needed home for.
Intriguing.
I think about it.
When duty calls, and well, we go where we're needed.
That is commendable. We should stay on the road. The sun is shining bright. I would like to absorb it.
Is his skin green?
No. His skin is still a gray, almost like a purple. It's a very odd color to see on the skin of a creature. You get the sense he's very obviously not meaning he's going to absorb the sun, but he doesn't really seem to have a better word for it. So, if I could get someone to roll me a d10. Nose
I
first.
think Jade should do it.
He put the nose first.
Fuck.
Nate, Thomas.
You said D10?
Yep.
Nate's just like, screw it, I'll do it.
I don't mind. I'm always down to roll something. Y'all might not like it, but I'll roll it.
All right.
7.
Nice.
So as dawn crests over the hills and brightness floods through the iron hills of the southern Katanet Empire, it is a very cloudy day. You wouldn't necessarily say the clouds have rain, but it is a little dreary. The wind picks up a little bit. There's scattered clouds, but it does block out the sun fairly often. About 2 to 3 p.m., after you guys have taken a short rest, you guys crest over one of the larger hills. You're starting to get to the southern end of the Iron Hills. You've still got the rest of the day in the hills. But as you crest over, you see out in the fields and hills to the left, you actually see a tornado that is rampaging across the southeastern Iron Hills. You don't see anyone around it or any settlements in the nearby area, but as you look out and see it, as soon as you come face to face with it, face to face being miles on miles away, but as soon as you can see it, the winds pick up drastically. It is very large, and it is ripping through these hills. Grass, tree, anything that's there. You see what appears to be a small, flock of something have been sucked up into its spiral. As you guys are standing there, Gendo kind of shrinks a little bit down as the wind makes it a little bit harder to hear. And he shrinks a little bit down closer to the carriage and says, "Are natural storms such as that common in these parts?"
But often enough, I wouldn't say it's horribly uncommon, but
I was saying, should I
No.
roll history to see how common these are?
I mean, tornadoes are not necessarily common in the Iron Hills, and most of you guys would know that. They're more common in the plains to the east, around Yalen, or to the west closer to Jelkala. Pretty much anywhere around the hills. It's not uncommon for there to be either, when closer to Jelkala, like sandstorms that include tornadoes, or more towards Yalen, where it is kind of just straight up tornadoes, as that's flat land. But it's not necessarily uncommon, but you wouldn't say it's super common that they come this deep into the hills.
This realm sports a plethora of weather patterns, which changes seemingly every other mile, but that is one of the more concerning. But I kind of just shrug and look at the rest of the party.
Gendo.
Prevalent along the west coast. That's all I know.
I don't know about you guys. I'm just finding it pleasant about that the great wind is deciding to show itself right now.
By the way, it's pretty strong. Is it in our way?
No.
I'm happy with them so long as they're not blowing in our direction and blowing us up into the air. They tend to make for a pretty hard landing.
Upon hearing Lennon's comment, Rikus is going to turn to him in the carriage and go, "This isn't some, relative of yours, is it?"
What? No. No.
I look over at Rikus. I'm stifling laughter.
Two relatives of yours?
Huh.
Is this how you...
Is this a
Gendo lets
genie
out,
thing?
like a bellowing laugh as you say that. Just.
No, I know a few family members though that would take some of us tornado watching or tornado hunting, and then we'd all get together and then we'd all cast.
You hunt
Then
the copulating pair of your distant relatives.
Well, it's not really hunting, more like a.
The
not hunting to
copulating
kill,
what?
More like a tracking.
You like to watch them?
Oh no,
That
not
is
just
quite
watch them.
disturbing. I do not understand the culture of the Genasi.
No, don't worry about it. I mean, it's fun. I mean, once you're old enough, it's quite fun to, just cast levitate and slow fall and then just take off, Some people use gaseous form, but then they don't come back for years, maybe. But
I don't know much about the Genasi either, but if they're anything like their grandpappies, you rub them a little bit, and maybe they'll give you something.
usually electricity.
Intriguing. As Gendo kind of looks out towards the tornado, he says, "It's hard to believe that only a few days ago I was seeing storms like that inside of Karsari."
They have storms in Karsari.
Isn't it just a prison? How does it have weather?
He kind of sighs a little bit and says, "Karsari is not a prison as you would generally think of it, of iron bars and cell doors, with guards and wardens all about. The iron bars are a near infinite biome of an interdimensional space. The cell doors are magic walls and wards and barriers in between the blocks, and the guards and wardens are your fellow inmates, as, believe it or not, intelligent, unintelligent, sentient, sapient creatures that barely have more intelligence than a proverbial blob are all thrown into the same block, and there is no peace and there is no quiet. And then there are times where creatures rise above the rest and choose to control the block and lead it against a war of a neighboring one whose guards and wards have fallen into degradation over the years. My block was one of said blocks.
So they're like city-states?
There's generally not the materials, nigh the tools to create, only destroy. Think of it as a world of its own.
You'd be interested in this, I think, Linen. I was with a bugbear chemist once. He did other things too, but among the things that he did, he tried to simulate ecosystems, is what they're called, inside of glass bottles.
Oh.
This sounds like that. It sounds like a fully functioning jungle that just came into being because of the inhabitants there.
Like an aquarium, but for land.
Yeah. Aquariums with the fish, right?
Yes. Or some
Yes.
dirt. I'm not a geologist. So I don't worry about it.
And so, weather is a common thing in your block. Do you know of weather in other blocks? Do you know if blocks are similar enough that this happens in every one?
I only know of my block and its neighboring block, 46 and 47. 47 being where I was.
Mhm.
It was...
Who was the leader of your block?
a storm giant by the name of Chandrius Caraval.
I feel like we heard that before.
It is possible. He, being the commander of the block, seemingly was able to, not intentionally, but it seems the biomes itself manipulate themselves to represent those of great power, by which it was a stormy coastline that never ended. And 46 was a endless bog on the other side of the sea.
And what caused the bog? Who was the commander of 46?
I do not know. It was a very long affair in which it never really mattered. The wizards of Avalar were thorough and exceptional at one thing, and that was creating mess-ups. In fact, many of the city-states at the time were phenomenal at that job, and by which many paid for the services of Karsari to put away things they could no longer control, or things they just didn't want anymore. I am not certain, but in consideration of the 2 blocks I knew the general populations of, it is quite possible Karsari had over 2 billion inhabitants between its 112 blocks.
How many people are on this continent?
This continent? Uncertain, as the Githyanki's 4, technically 5 cities aren't really in the census, and neither is Xyron. But in its totality, there's probably somewhere around 2 to 250 million in total. A large majority of them are in rural areas, and that's highly inflating those numbers because of places like Old Maruth and the Khatanate Empire in Kandura, where Old Maruth is a lot of mountainous and underground regions, and goblins and orcs breed like rabbits. The Khatanate Empire has a large slave empire that they do not include slaves in their census, and there are quite possibly more slaves than there are freed people in the Khatanate Empire. And then places like Kundura, there's just no governmental systems there, so nobody knows what's going on there in terms of total population. But that's about the best, median that people can take assumption of. And that's with, the biggest cities only having 1 million or less.
Okay.
So it's mostly rural living and farmsteads and stuff like that. But the average lifetime is pretty short.
So then Carceri is much more than just a prison. It's worlds unto themselves.
It is extensively likely. However, with the approximated 14,500 years since the fall of the city of Avalar, it is, in my opinion, extensively likely that those were the originating numbers. Whereas today's numbers might range within 8 to 15% of that. Which is still a grand number, but much smaller.
While we're on the topic of geography, the Horde didn't happen to give you a map.
No, but I know their areas.
I'll tell you what. Here. I think I have a spare. And I'm going to kind of dip back to the back of the cart, open up my trunk, grab one of my scroll cases, and sift through it as I grab the nicer copy of the continent that I have. And hand it to him. It's like, just so you have a better idea of the general areas that we're talking about.
As he reaches out and grabs it, you notice that he actually holds it really close to his eyes as he looks at it, as it is tiny in his hands.
It's nearsighted.
I thought he shrunk.
He shrunk a little bit. He shrunk down to where he could still talk inside the carriage. He is still, at this point, 18 feet tall. So he's still very large in comparison to this map. So he's looking at it, and
while he's doing that, I'm gonna write on my notepad. It's like, commission fucking large map. And on my I have just a tab list of commissions for this giant.
Oh, Barry surely has it.
At this point, Gendo is going to say, "It appears the winds are shifting. That storm will begin heading our way here momentarily. We should get back on the road."
I was under the impression we were still moving.
Yeah, I thought we were walking this whole time.
I thought I had said this was during a short rest.
Oh, okay.
Rest at a hill.
Then yes, let's go.
Yeah.
Then yes. So you guys continue along. The next moment of import that you guys can note is just after dusk as the moons begin to rise. The past 3 days, and this actually lined up perfectly with the calendar, only one of the moons were truly shining. As Elenus rises, so does its twin sister. That being Elenus.
Twin moons.
When Gendo is walking and looks up to view the stars, he notices the slight, and truly slight, slight part of Elaras. As he peers up, he stops dead in his tracks and just stares Do you guys stop the cart with him?
Yes.
Yeah. After noticing that he's not moving, I'm assuming Leopold sticks out his arm. Whoa, the two horses.
Were there not two before?
After
Has it not always been like that?
What's wrong with the moons?
As he looks up, he says, Galadras was born a sibling in my time away, it seems.
The sibling is questionable semantics there, but yes, there are two. I don't know how long. It's always been like that, I thought.
That or birthed a child, however you wish to see it.
I heard they're siblings.
Why not a lover?
I heard they're siblings. No, that's just like whatever lore that people have conjured up for these two moons.
The moons are...
I believe they are sisters.
Stars are a quarrelsome debate of my time. There is no love between the stars. There is no hate either. It is merely what they are. They care for and keep well the people. They shine light where there is none, when the sun falls beneath the clouds. They wax and wane just as the waves of the sea. There is no love, but there is no hate among the stars and the moon and Galadras. They merely are and caretake what is theirs. But it has been long since I've stepped foot on Galadras and its mighty, mighty lands. He looks very sullen for a moment as he finishes and says, I don't even know how I would return to its grand shores. You say that it has always been this way for you, with the
Yeah.
moons.
Yeah,
We're-
there's this guy
we're
who
a
even
lot-
told me
We're a lot younger than you.
too.
Yes.
Lots of lore going into it at this point. I thought it was
However, DM,
millennia old.
could I try and recall anything in my investigative studies? I am proficient in history, so
I will let you roll, but I will let you know, even with a nat 20, I will very likely give you little to no information. As this is well before
Can
your
I have-
time and no longer in books.
The stars we
Lyndon help me?
see from this realm are not technically the astral sea. The astral sea is another plane.
The astral sea,
Correct?
at least in my world, the astral sea is another plane of existence. It is not
Okay.
space.
I was gonna say, I know some worlds just have the astral sea as literally being
Space.
outer space,
Yeah.
and some it's another entire like plane, just like how the Underdark is a plane or it's underground,
Yeah.
depending on what world you're in.
Ruckus,
I-
what's your history bonus?
it's a plus
Um,
6.
I feel
plus nine.
like to answer that question, Nate, for my world, they're both one and the same in the fact of like the entrances and the holes in between planes that exist between, say, the Prime Material and the Underdark, and the Prime Material and the Astral Sea, are in that direction. Like, if you were to find the holes in the dimensions, it would be in the sky. Near the stars is where you would enter the Astral Sea, and it would be underground beneath mountains where you entered the Underdark. So it's not necessarily wrong to say you go down to the Underdark and up to the Astral Sea, but it is you are traveling to a different plane, not actively entering outer space or delving deeper to the core of the Earth.
Yeah.
Or,
Let's
in
say
this
if
case, the Elvaran.
if we are doing history, I have a +7.
You guys are welcome to roll, but it is very, very, very unlikely that you're going to gain anything.
Maybe not glean anything from my investigative studies, or at least I'll tweak it. I'm trying to recall from my investigative studies if I know where to find the answer.
Okay, go ahead.
Or
and roll
I
your
know
histories and
I know
we'll see
who
what you
would know the answer. Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and give myself a... Actually, no, I'm not a cleric, so I can't give myself it. Linen, guidance, please.
Wait, I thought that was only for ability checks, but anyways, yeah, sure.
get. This is an
It
This
ability
is an
plus-
ability check.
That is ability checks. Guidance... I don't know, sorry. Plus
Are
is
you
attack.
sure?
Guidance is ability checks.
God
Does the
damn, are you
bonus
sure?
aid Your attack?
Are you sure?
Either way, you have a thing that does it.
Yay.
May I use it?
Yes,
You
go
have a
ahead.
thing. You have a thing.
Touch me, Lennon. I need
22.
your help.
Damn
no.
it.
I will also
That's the
roll.
worst I've rolled on an ability check.
Let's give myself guidance as well, why not?
Yippee.
An 8's the worst you rolled? That's nothing.
Nothing.
Dirty 20.
Well, I rolled a
So,
2.
With Leopold being the only number, well, Linen's all right. With the pair of them being the only numbers really worth mentioning. You guys do not know anything about when a second moon entered the orbit of Elvarun. You've heard a lot of stories of the relation between the two. The most common, most prevalent, and most considered to be air quotes true, even though this is likely all myth and legend, is that they are sisters. Some stories do denote them as long lost sisters, but there is never any more detail than that of the fact that they are long lost sisters reunited in the stars. Just close enough to view. It's never really mentioned much other than that.
Yeah, I've heard all kinds of things. Many different stories. I think my favorite one is it's just Saloon putting her butt up against the glass.
And I'm gonna elbow Secure really hard, and lean in and whisper to him. It's like, insulting the moon might not be the best option.
I'm not joking. That's something I've heard.
As you say that, Gendo is going to... he kind of chuckles at the joke a little bit, and he is going to say, that facade of a deity is worth making fun of.
Oh,
How they got the term mooning.
perfect.
Okay.
We
So I
don't
feel
care
like-
much for Saloon either, do we, brother?
Indifferent. But for my friend, I will continue to make fun of her.
Well,
So I feel like with our roles,
being
Linen
the
and
worshiper
I
of the Raven Queen.
feel like Linen and I probably be on like the same mental wavelength. Look at each other and just go, "Azure Sky Library," for where we could find more information on the moon.
Yeah, it's a Skype library, most likely.
As you guys say,
Go
that,
Library Bros.
Gendo is going to begin to shrink, and he is actually going to climb up and sit on the backside of the carriage so that he can be looking up at the stars.
Hell yeah, kick his feet up.
Yep. So, as we march through the night, you guys take your first point of exhaustion.
Yay.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
I'm so happy.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
I thought we were taking turns sleeping in the carriage.
Are you? Who is taking turns sleeping in the carriage? Then you guys mentioned.
Well,
that
yeah,
you might
well,
be
we
doing
only need
that.
4 hours of sleep, most of us. Lennon sleeps the whole night, but
How
like
are
we're
you
just
gonna
like kind
rest
of
the horses?
taking a shift.
Resting the horses is a very good point.
Because horses have less generally
Stamina
in
than
terms
we
of-
do.
Yeah, they have less stamina than your average human. They're a lot
So
faster.
we'd have to ask Gendo to grow up every once in a while and just
Carry the horse.
give it a break. Can you carry our baby?
We could just stop for 4 hours and then let Lennon finish sleeping in the carriage.
I feel
So
like
the horse-
Yeah, I feel like a 4-hour rest might be optimal.
As you guys are discussing and kind of quickly throwing out camp rolls just to nod down and get a couple hours rest, Gendo also lays down in his full form, just looking up at the stars. And when you guys wake, as the stars and moons are still out, he is still awake. As you guys load back into the cart and get a long rest.
Sweet.
I'm just gonna like toss all our sleeping bags on top of linen.
Extra warmth.
He's sleeping and he's just like,
He's the only one that's still asleep.
Yeah, no, he doesn't react when you throw stuff on him. It's like, do you know how many times he's just
He's
sleeping?
probably the heaviest fucking sleeper.
Yeah, you know how many times he's just in his laboratory and then his bookshelf falls on top of him? Somebody walks in and he's just like, oh god, he's either dead or is just
Studying
a
again.
super heavy sleeper.
You're- the young squire walks in. Oh fuck again.
Linen.
So,
Sees a hickey on your face.
as we're going to say, we're very, very early in the morning, likely 3 or 4 a.m. on the day Mattis, Peniel the 22nd. You guys wake and continue your journey. Does anyone have anything they would like to do or discuss along the next 2.5 days that you are on the road, if you continue taking a 4-hour rest at night?
Quick question.
Answer.
The two that were looking at last night, are they the two that are dictated on the map or on the calendar?
Yes, they are.
So how could he see the one if it was a new moon?
Okay, so that one is incorrect. Is how.
Okay.
I have my own fantasycalendar.com thing pulled up that I have not gotten to actually correlate on the Forge yet.
Okay.
I've been trying to figure out. I haven't gotten it figured out yet. Is how,
Sounds good.
Yeah. I tried to get it set properly and I thought I had it right, but when you're talking about, the 20-day cycle when you have 2 moons, it's very difficult to do the math on that. I'll get it fixed at some point.
Say the only thing I can think of is I would like to ask Gendo how exactly he does the growing and shrinking, which I would assume would just be sort of an innate biological part of his magic. He's a moon giant. Yeah, I figured as much.
Linen would like to know about life on the moon.
When Lennon asks him about life on the moon, he says, Galadras is not too dissimilar a place than a sea that you can stand on, that ripples and waves upon the changing of the sun and Elvarin itself. It is a paradise with oasis, not unlike that we would find in the Iron Hills. A land of beauty and of barren wastes. It is a grayscale version of what we see here.
So wait, what would you eat there then?
Moon giants need no sustenance but the light and radiance of the sun and stars. That does not mean that we do not enjoy consumption. Particularly that of other creatures.
Alright then. So like a carnivorous plant.
Did you just
I'm just gonna like shake my head, like put my hand up.
Gendo is just gonna have a very like quizzical and puzzled look on his face.
Lennon doesn't notice. He's just like in deep thought. It's like, how would that? So is it like photosynthesis?
He's just like. As you guys are walking along. Just for simplicity's sake, we are kind of gonna skip through this and secure. Yes.
I came up with something that I probably would want to approach Wayne on the way there.
Okay.
Being of a religious background, do you know of anyone trustworthy enough to perform an exorcism?
An exorcism.
Yes.
Oh, by golly, you're looking at him.
Like
Made Ben Kellamore.
removing demons or similar beings from one's soul or being.
I thought you would know the word.
Just making sure.
Yes.
Yes. I reckon that I know a few people. DM, would I be able to do one?
Go ahead and roll me a religion check.
I say, take the demons away from this man. I say.
Once again, we are reminded that this party doesn't have a cleric. We just have 4. Well, do we just have 3?
Wayne,
Heal.
it depends on the power of the fiend who is possessing the creature. You could probably, with some holy water and some texts of either your deity or a different deity. There's plenty of fiends that just react negatively to scripture itself, not necessarily of one deity or another. Certain demons require, one deity's scripts, as they are particularly of the domain that this demon inhabits. But for low-level demons, yeah, you could probably do something. A particular cleric of Tyr inside of the City of Stars, who is particularly renowned at it. However, you think he's a total sham and would never recommend him to anyone.
Nice. All right.
So all
Well,
this good advice, but it doesn't matter though.
I could probably handle whatever you got going on, unless this person that is struggling with particularly dangerous demons.
Wayne, we're going to be seeing each other a lot in the next foreseeable future. You know it's me.
Okay, yeah, I figured.
Yeah. I don't know what I have. I know it's a fiend. I'm containing it fine enough,
I'm gonna
but-
Sakire's kind of sitting in front of me. I'm gonna kind of behind me. I turn around in the carriage and kind of get Wayne's attention and just go do the little money sign and nod. So Sakire doesn't see it. It's like,
I reckon I could handle that. We'll have to see. It seems like you have a rather particularly strong presence within you. The ritual that I am familiar with, it requires a lot of gold and a lot of platinum as a sacrifice for the ritual to work properly. But I
Well,
think we can handle it.
yeah, we can ask around to the party and see if they're willing to donate any. It's just-
Yeah. We could do it next time we stop for a night. Although if we wait till we're back to the city, it might be ideal. I hear Leopold's got a room downstairs that might be of use for this.
I've heard of the room. I do not agree, but
Well, it's a
you are the
laboratory.
professional.
Well, he said it was a dungeon with
I never said it was a
cannibals
dungeon.
and such.
You never said it was a dungeon, but
I
it was
never
strongly
said it was a
implied it
dungeon.
was the dungeon.
I called it a laboratory, and I've never said anything to the contrary.
He
Yes,
also said he
you
had
did.
tools down there, so
He said weapons.
Tools for weaponsmithing, like hammers and screwdrivers, and very fine
Screwdrivers.
needles.
Fine needles. Do you do leather work down there as well?
Occasionally.
weaponsmithing.
We catch your drift, Leopold. We know you and your maiden. You house to yourself. We understand.
Well, he certainly has a lot of
I
How do
toys
I'm
down
actually
there.
very curious. How does Leopold respond to that?
He certainly has a
Leopold
lot
is
of fun
going
toys.
to be very temporarily stunned before. Yeah, Leopold is going to sock Sakir in the nose. At least attempt to.
I don't think Sakira is at all expecting this. I will
No.
let you make your attack roll at advantage.
Yes.
I assume strength.
Yeah, I'm not dodging.
I was gonna say.
Because I have a negative
happened?
1 to strength.
I was gonna say I don't think Sakir's gonna be able to really dodge it. You say you have a negative 1 to strength. It doesn't really deal any damage, but you do
Yeah.
just kind of turn around and you just thwop him right in the nose.
It feels like he got hit with a marshmallow.
It kind of does after getting hit by the half giants just a day and a half ago.
Yeah.
But it's
Next time I'll
very
pistol whip
surprising.
him. Yeah, you see Leopold's whole demeanor basically change on a dime, and he. I was not expecting to have to do this at all. I'm not really in the right mental state to be a very angry Leopold.
You got this. You got this. We'll give you time. We'll give you time.
Do we need more motivation?
He made
No.
fun of your mother. He
You
said your mother was a whore.
Ever
No.
no, this isn't his mother. This is his
Something.
maid.
like that again. Well, I think it'd be best for the both of us if that never happened.
I'm sorry.
I agree. Don't insult her again. And I'm just gonna be like crossing my arms
Thank you, Rikus.
because
Well,
I'll tell on
anyway.
you.
Your sister.
You have drains in this not dungeon, right?
I couldn't even hear your question. I'm sorry, Jade. What'd you say?
He leans in like on the down low. He's like, yeah, you're really offended by this. Is she your
Yes.
sister? Are you related?
God, no. I would be fine with you insulting my sister. Yvonne is... Yvonne is many things to me, but for my entire life, she has been by my side, unerringly. And I will not tolerate any slander to her. Am I clear?
As mud.
Again, with his -1 to strength modifier, Leopold will grab Sakir's collar. He can't really drag Sakir over to Leopold because -1 strength, but he'll walk up to Sakir, look him dead in the eyes, and say, "Are we clear?"
Leopold, I understand nothing of what your relationship is, but you can trust my honor that I will not make fun of it again. I will respect that.
I can't say I know what honor you possess, but he lets go and begins to take a step away. I will trust you on the matter.
That was a punch back more than actually hitting him in the face, disqualifying his honor. He's squints at you, but he takes it. He just insulted you, so he looks ahead and keeps walking.
Very awkward carriage ride for the next couple hours.
Well, it's a good thing I have my own horse, so I'm not in that carriage.
Yeah.
hour or
To
two
answer your
later.
question, Wayne, I do think I remember seeing a train when he brought me down there.
Ah, very good.
Although
very good.
I think it's for gun oil.
Perfect location.
An hour or
Yes,
so.
the drain mostly facilitates gun oil. There are a few other occasional things that need to get washed down, mostly water for cleaning the place whenever I get around to it. It tends to get very brackish. I don't clean down there often. Just gets dirty
Yes.
again.
Slippery,
Yes.
I'm sure.
Not particularly. I do a very good job cleaning up the gun oil. It's mostly kind of sticky, if anything.
Yeah.
You don't
Should've
think
seen that
Yuan
one
will
coming.
be too
Making it too easy.
disheartened to see the merry crew making our way back through her domain?
Well, it should be a short trip through her domain until we get to the workshop in the basement. As long as we don't cause any trouble upstairs, we wipe our shoes at the door, and we take care not to insult our hosts.
Should we buy her a gift? This time I'm not going to do a bar of soap, although that was for you.
Gifts are always appreciated. Yvonne has a surprising fascination for model ships. I really wish I'd
Is
had the
that
time to
right?
pick one up
Yeah, I
while
think
we
he
were
did.
down.
He's been frozen.
I really wish I had the time to pick.
I am still here, but everything is goofed. So let's just go ahead and... Well, this is fun, guys. If anyone's watching the recording, I'm gonna try and figure this out. Bye!
Station dick
In
pills
our-
gone sexual.
In our first recording that starts with gas station dick pills, we're keeping it.
You can't hear me, so it's fine.
No, they can't. For some reason, it's my computer's acting up. But, so, who was talking? Leopold?
Aiden.
I believe the last question I asked was, how should we treat with the Vox Severum? Because the first place my mind goes to is that if Entrati was sent to negotiate with them, perhaps negotiations go wrong, and Entrati ends up being killed, well, not killed, captured by them somehow.
I would think it very unlikely that Entrati would arouse such aggressive action from the Vox Severum. However, I am not necessarily saying it is not possible. But note, the Vox are refugees. If such a large name as Lycus Aranin here in Revedan were to begin to say that the Vox Severum had captured and or killed a diplomatic envoy sent to discuss possible terms for a future alliance with the Vox Severum, the lords of both Tim and Rivacheg would be hard-pressed not to kick them from their curbs and leave them foodless and back on their boats with nowhere to live.
Duly noted. Suppose first thought goes to some sort of anti-Vox Severum faction then, but speculation is probably best left when we have more information on the ground.
I would concur. Other notes before you leave. Sorry, let me look at this real quick. It is imperative that, if at all possible, this be solved within a few days. You will be teleported there. Likely, it would be best to go and then take your rest there at whatever tavern or inn you can find before meeting with Finch Locke, as he does intend to receive you, as he says that the Vox are most saddened by the disappearances but had nothing to do with it. He is more than willing to accept more, but they do not seem extensively, how to put this? They don't care. They say Intrati was acting strange and aloof, and Pax was angry and temperamental. The second is more understanding than Stolius being aloof. Regardless, as you all know, the Festival of the Rise is beginning at the turn of this next week, so here very soon. There is some very important things going down in Suno at that time, which Lycus and I will both be attending, and it would be best if you were able to attend as well, or at least that's what Lycus says. If for no other reason than as extra protection for certain members. So try and get this done swiftly, and then you can go enjoy the Festival of the Rise in the grandest city of the Caladrian Empire.
I suppose I have one last question about Lycus before we leave. So, if he's in Suno right now, maybe ask what he's doing? I'll admit, I'm rather curious. He didn't exactly... Well, I had hoped to ask whenever we gotten back here, but, well, evidently he's gone.
He is preparing for likely one of the largest meetings, council arrangements. I doubt any of you have ever heard of the Oriet's Majo. It is a grand council of all of, well, effectively any arcane initiative, any syndicate of magic wielders, everything from the Insect Procratus to the Emerald Enclave. It is quite the council, and they only happen when called, with such grand occurrences happening all around our grand continent of Volusia and the continent of Olden Dan. With the Titan's return, the brewing of tensions between both the Clovis Concord and the Zemnian Coast and the Caladrian and Catanit empires, along with the return of the Yuan Ti, the Vox Severum now taking position to quite possibly, if they wanted to, take over 2 of our greatest port cities, along with any number of other grand occurrences happening around our continent. We thought it best to gather and discuss. And what a better time than the Festival of the Rise?
Well, sir, we will hop to it, and you got your Rocky on you.
Can't do a very opposing glare.
Didn't we give ones to someone?
The giant.
I
yeah.
do have a, I guess as you call them, Rocky Talkie, that can communicate with yours, any of yours.
All right, cool. Just gonna tap this rune. Cool. All right. We'll be in touch.
All right.
And I give like a somewhat salute.
Right. So, as you guys leave the chambers, as you exit the door, you exit immediately at the top of the stairs to the Tower of Divination.
So, when do you all wish to leave? I would, at least for myself, prefer to be able to go back home and inform Yvonne, but I don't imagine I'll need to do too much restock and resupply.
Well, we do have a little bit of time in the afternoon.
There's a couple potions I'd like to buy. I fear that my combat effectiveness isn't very useful. So
I believe. Perhaps it might have been a bit of a faux pas to bring it up in front of. I immediately forgot the professor's name.
Avatar.
In front of Evethar, but we never really got paid for those last 2 jobs we did we?
Well, we got paid for the hunt.
I meant
Although
more
now that
so
you
from
mention it,
Lycus, considering he is our employer.
Yeah.
he's kind of busy. We'll just put it on the tab.
Yes, but I'm not fond of putting things on tabs.
I mean, the whole giant search was kind of just we had time for it.
Well, it was still something aside.
It wouldn't be the first time my employer decided to put my pay on tab. Then again, my last employer's excuse was that we were at war. But tit for tat. So
Speaking of assignments, I do wonder how that thing in the east went.
That too. And I should really stop dropping these cards that I'm messing with.
DM, can we get a hard cut to whatever the
They're all
whatever's
dead.
whatever's happening in that
If
forest?
you guys want to go and talk with Ernest about that, you are more than welcome to do so.
When we have time.
Why is Jade shaking his head so violently?
Wind sound effect.
Oh, east. Never mind. We're fine. Whatever's going on east isn't as bad as what's going on west. I take it back.
Your other.
We're talking about the forest hunt near Werecheg and Seka, whatever.
Yeah, the one where
Yeah,
like
that's
the forest was like dying or something.
Yeah. That's fine.
Probably not important.
Probably not important.
Side quest. We missed it. It's fine. Move
Like
on.
I said, you guys are more than welcome to ask about it. But,
Alright. Everyone meet here back at 8-ish. Restock, resupply, rest.
Fine to me.
Sounds good. And then we'll take our rest when we teleport over, like you said. Alright. I'm going to the shops. Who wants to join me?
Ooh, I'm going in.
And again, I should really stop dropping these.
Rikus,
You know what? I'm just
can't
gonna
bring baby this
sit
time.
here so I can stop playing with them.
as you guys are descending down the staircase, you note that someone passes by going up. A tall, slender, you could almost say frail, but not necessarily weak-looking woman. A slightly taller frame, long blonde hair, blue eyes, fairly bright blue eyes, and a green dress that almost curls more into a robe at its end, is walking up the stairs and passes by you guys. And you note on her necklace hanging is like a green emerald.
Yeah, member of the Emerald Enclave, then.
Good afternoon.
Linen says good
None of
afternoon
that
to her.
is-
Yeah.
She is going to say, "Good afternoon, Inexorables. Hope your meeting with Evethar was pleasant."
Yeah, just as pleasant as any work assignment can be.
And who are you exactly?
Yeah, you know who we are.
My name is Onoros Akora. And yes, I know who you are. Evethar does tell me quite a bit about the Inexorables.
Has she been in every single campaign you did? I think she has.
Let's say, I at least remember her from the first campaign.
Miss Anus Sakura.
Is this the bitch in green that would talk to the hippo man?
Is she?
Hold on, I'm trying
Definitely
to
wasn't
find.
using the name Onoros Akora then. But she is going to say, "If you will excuse me, we need to begin our preparations for the Oratus." have a good day, and I hope you enjoy your stay, at least more than your umbral friends have in Team or Rivercheck. She'll nod and begin making her way up the stairs again.
Thank you. Have a good day. Oh, she was a nice lady.
Yes, although I worry what might have happened in Riverchag.
To be
Wait,
fair,
Did you say
Yeah.
umbrals?
I didn't take any notes last campaign, so
Yes, our two allies who are going to find. They're technically umbral entities.
Yes, but she also mentioned the job we didn't take down in Riverchag. And...
It wasn't Rivercheg. It was Werecheg.
Oh, Werechag. I don't know why I said Riverchag.
Yeah.
It's similar.
They are very similar.
Yeah.
I guess Lycus must be really talking about us.
Well, getting a name out there means more important jobs, larger paycheck, more prestige. Looks like the fortunes are turning up.
I mean to ask you guys about that. What are you using with your money for?
Here, I see no other use for it.
Experimenting and improving my weapons, which I... Improving my weapons.
Maybe I should get some upgrade. Ah. More
Why does Sakir have a bigger gun? No.
I was waiting for you to pull that out actually the entire evening. That's the entire reason I have this
It's
right
not
here.
about size, it's about how we use it.
I'm not near my gun.
How much ammunition?
Actually, hold on.
Don't actually pull out
Yeah,
a gun.
Sakir.
No, I'm not gonna pull out a real gun.
Am I about to get us banned from YouTube?
I do have an airsoft gun on me, but that might be a bit, spicy. So have this airsoft magazine instead.
Alright, demonetized. Already gone.
Oh fuck.
You could name this episode the Kurt Cobains.
The Kurt Cobains.
What does that
We
mean?
have said I have said a slur already this
What?
session. So
The
if that
DM
happens,
said a bad
the
word.
DM said a bad word. Oh no, cancel me. Exactly.
You meant the
Um,
bundle
What
of sticks,
was it,
right?
neighbor?
No, it wasn't that one. It was the Shadow Phage,
Oh, yeah.
which I still find hilarious. Regardless.
It is funny.
Regardless.
Jack is just silently seething in the background.
Dude, you should have seen him when everyone was
I'm just
saying-
watching Moist Critical, man. Why'd you have to bring it back? Come on, man.
Situation in team is crazy.
The situation in team is crazy. Okay.
And
guys,
where is Thomas?
He's
uh,
I was
for-
looking for my really big Nerf gun, but
he
I
was
can't
looking
find
for
it.
his gas station dick pills.
But I think I found it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so where would everyone like to go for your little interim before this evening?
Well, I think we're gonna head towards the shops. But
Is everyone going?
I was
Yeah.
sure.
I'll join you for at least a little bit. Perhaps do some browsing, but I should get back. Actually, I'll go home, meet with Yvonne first, then I'll go out with the shops.
Let's go ahead and start with that. So, as everyone begins making their way out towards the promenades and the markets of the City of Stars, making his way back to his small but still a mansion, we're going to be following Leopold. So, as you return, riding your horse, Rikus will go ahead and chat with you for a moment.
Rikus is going to just on the way to the markets is my apartment. I'm just gonna dip in there, get into a fresher set of clothes and kind of just wash up quickly,
Okay.
stock some items, yada
taking
yada.
a little bath.
Quick shower. Anyways,
All right. So, Leopold, I'm riding your very expensive horse. I'm back into your little personal stable back at your house. How much do you clean yourself off before entering the home?
I make sure I'm not going to track anything inside.
Okay, I will do. So, as you enter in, you find that Yvonne is not currently home.
You should check in the dungeon.
I really want that pointing down at you, but it doesn't show up well on camera. Well, in that case, I mean, I guess first I'll look around, make sure she didn't like leave a note or anything. I mean, it's not like she knew I was getting home today, so
Yeah.
it's not completely unexpected. No note or anything.
No note. You look around the house. You go up. You even go down into your dungeon. There seems to be no sign left that she was going to be gone. You do check in the pantry and some of the cupboards, and you do note that some of the items along the shelves are getting pretty low.
I suppose in that case, that Leopold will simply have to run the bath himself. Wonderful timing on the womp womp.
Beautiful timing.
oh
So-
no, my
Tragic.
hot maid can't help me bathe.
She does not help. She does not help me bathe. She merely draws the bath.
So, probably drawing his bath for the first time in quite a while. It probably takes you twice as long as it would have Yvonne. But
Of course, I don't remember which knob is hot and which knob is cold. It's been so long since I've done it myself.
I'm just imagining Leopold just like turning on one knob and it's not like getting hot water because the hot water magic heater hasn't turned on yet. So he turns the other one on and it's cold too. So he turns both on and then it's lukewarm and he just doesn't understand it for the longest time.
And then I forget where I placed all my expensive soaps
Yeah.
and that new lavender one that Rikus got for me.
And it
I
just
suppose
smells
it's the only one that-
terrible.
The lavender one that's like still in your bag.
I'm just imagining like Rikus bought like the cheapest one he could find, and so Leopold pulls it out, and there's like mold inside, and it's just like
Use the lavender?
It went bad already.
I didn't know.
Soap
I
doesn't
didn't
Soap
even
and
know
mold.
soap could, yeah, I don't even know soap could
doesn't
grow
go
mold.
bad.
This one did.
But either way, I'm getting probably 20 gold worth of cleaning supplies out to cleanse yourself. You finally get a hot bath drawn. I'm gonna take a bath, and when you head downstairs, Yvonne has returned at this point.
Yvonne,
Yeah, baby.
Stop.
thank you for the continual soundboard comments.
Oh, stop. I'm sorry.
Ah!
No, we're just gonna get DMCA'd by Moist for cool. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yvonne, wonderful to see you. I hope my absence wasn't too hard.
She's going to look up as she is carrying in like probably 20-30 pounds of groceries. She looks up and says, "You couldn't have returned at a more inconvenient time." And she walks into the kitchen.
You don't need any help carrying those, do you?
Nope,
Or is-
this is the last trip. As she sets everything on the counter and begins putting them away.
Well, it's not my fault I'm not psychic and didn't know when you'd be coming home. What? Has
Yes, I
anything
guess I can't
important?
expect too much help from you. Regardless,
Has
tell
anything
us-
important happened or came in while I was gone?
No, I have not received any new letters for you particularly. However, I will say there does seem to be a surprising amount of tax documentation that is being sent in that I am sifting through.
I thought tax season was next month.
Yes, but documentation arrives throughout this month.
Ah, that would be why.
Yes, I understand that it is different in Zadash. And she's going to, like, pull out of her little satchel, like, a 50 page little, like, pamphlet that says, I have had to read through this 4 different times just to understand what documents we need. However, I will say our coffers are absolutely fine as of the time being. It looks like we will be able to suffice greatly. However, it would be nice if you were to throw a little bit more into the piggy bank within the next couple weeks.
Well, I did just finish the business I had up north, and rather unfortunately, I'm going to be going on some pressing business out southwest, is the direction of team. And then, kept in an eternally busy state, right after the festival ends, I'm going to be going to Suno. But hopefully with all this traveling around, that means I can effectuate the premium for my services.
Did you say that you're going to be missing the Festival of the Rise or spending the festival in Suno?
Quick correction, DM, I believe it was the meeting was right after the festival, or did I understand that incorrectly? Okay.
And the festival lasts all of the next week, which is starting a couple days from now.
Well, rather unfortunately, the meeting is during the festival, but I always have charged extra whenever something's caused me to miss important dates. But I know there is some big meeting of the magically inclined sort that we're going to be running security for, by the sounds of it.
That sounds quite important.
Indeed.
Well, if you're going to be spending the whole Festival of Rise up in Suno, she kind of smirks to herself. I don't see why I couldn't take a boat and possibly stay up there over the week.
He will walk closer to Yvonne, place a hand on her shoulder, and says, "That sounds absolutely lovely."
Oh, now I don't want to do it anymore.
Well, being that this would be on your next real business, you would have to get in, hopefully not quite so close contact with Rikus and Sakia, and both brothers seem to make quite asses of themselves. Though at least Rikus is a little bit better.
Well, it's not entirely difficult for freelancer mercenary types to get that way. If you weren't raised in the foundationally strong, noble, and moral location as the Lenotdon family of Zadash, I'm sure you would have turned out quite similarly.
Oh, thank you, Yvonne. Oh, thank you, Yvonne. I haven't had a laugh like that in a while. Yes. Thankfully, I will be able to stay for dinner, but I will have to leave not too long after that. It doesn't need to be anything big or important tonight. Nobody else should be arriving. Though, speaking
The
of...
entire party crashes through the door.
Hey! Though, speaking of my filming for the next
I
schools,
found the pills I was talking about.
Yeah. I believe they were
Actually,
going...
I really want to do that cut now. Because I was planning to stop by.
Okay, well, we will go back to you guys shopping, and if things line up, that very well might happen. Okay, Leopold.
So, I don't believe anybody else should be stopping by. They are going shopping, and I had intended to join them once I had freshened myself up and see what I could restock for my stores here.
Well, alright. I will send a letter to Theobald to see if he wishes to join us, or at least join me, if not the rest of us, for the festival in Suno.
Yes, that would be quite the grand idea. I know he said a few things that he wanted to show me and try and get me to buy. At first I was a little uncertain as to their utility, but having worked more and more on the job, I believe they would have their uses.
discuss that at a later date. Regardless, go and get yourself dirty again, picking things from that dusty dungeon downstairs, and we can discuss a little bit more before you leave. I'm assuming you're leaving again this evening.
Sadly, yes, I won't even get the chance to rest in a proper bed here, but such is the life of Leopold Lenato.
Ha.
Wayne.
Alright. Returning to the rest of
All
the
about it.
I'm going shopping. What would you guys like to shop for?
Pulls up to a
Upgrades,
pharmacy.
people, upgrades.
Upgrade. Pulls up to a medical a pharmacy. So Sakir, these were the pills I was mentioning. And these ones are are actually hemophilic, which actually increases blood flow. It's actually terrible if young ones don't take them, but it might help.
You know, the entire process is strictly. It doesn't depend on blood flow. The blood itself isn't all completely mine either. It is stored. It's difficult to explain. I've done it my entire life, studying these hemocraft. It folds in on itself, and
That's a terrible blood pressure.
honestly, I've never felt better.
I don't know if you say so, but
There's a reason we don't get our blood pressure checked at the doc.
Yes, if they were to check blood pressure, they would assume us dead.
I'm surprised you go to doctors.
Oh, what did that
We don't.
what did that army doc say to me last time? Sir, you're the cardiac arrest. We need you in bed right now. I don't even know.
That came out completely unintelligible.
I heard something about cardiac arrest, but outside of that, I got nothing.
Sir, you should be going into cardiac arrest. We need you to rest in bed right now.
Speaking of resting in bed, hello, Claire.
Oh, hi, Claire. You've
Hello,
panned into
sister.
frame.
Yes.
Are in frame. Shameful.
Hello.
Yeah.
Shameful.
Also, you missed characters from the previous campaign getting mentioned. I'm trying to remember. Was Nari your character?
She can't
No,
hear you.
Nari was an NPC, wasn't it?
Nari was her character.
Oh, no, yeah.
You got
Nari
names up.
mentioned...
Name tags?
Yeah.
Yes.
So did the whole party.
Nice.
Well, not the whole party.
Not
Almost
me.
the whole party.
I was gonna say, Mikhail,
Well, that's because
Shrake, they were not mentioned, along with some others.
Dibs.
Nibs was not mentioned either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, didn't
Neither was Robin. if
didn't
you-
Mikhail go back to the Feywild with his sister?
Mikhail and Shayla dipped pretty soon after. Yeah.
Mikhail.
All right.
Mikhail and Gorbachev.
Regardless,
Alright.
shoppers.
Yep.
What are we shopping for?
Terms
Protection
of protection.
So
Potions.
sharp things.
I,
Gas station dick pills. Got it.
I was, we've been traveling for a little bit now, and I was kind of eyeing that the scale mail that Leopold wears. So I want to see if I can find something similar to it.
Serpent scale, yeah. It's wonderful.
You're not shopping with us.
Yep.
You're not shopping
know.
with us yet.
Okay, so serpentine scale mail. Let me double
Serpent.
check.
It's basically allows you to use your entire dex cap for AC instead of it being capped to 2. Yeah, I can read off the. Actually, I'll read off the entire text.
No, you're
While wearing it,
I
you
know
can-
serpentine. I know
Yeah.
what it is. I was just listing it out again. Serpent scale mail. So you're looking to purchase yourself a pair, are you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so a full set of serpent scale mail will likely run you close to the 1,500 to 2,000 range.
What the fuck?
It is a green item, but it is a very difficult to craft one. And it requires very special resources.
I'm just gonna make Leopold buy it for me.
He has to pay taxes.
He has to pay.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
scale
Yeah,
He has to pay
tax
taxes.
season is coming up.
Scale mail's not green. You can just get medium scale mail.
Serpent scale mail. Specifically.
Oh, okay.
Serpent
That'd be-
scale mail.
Yeah, the whole point of
specifically.
Serpent Scale Mail is that you can use your entire dex bonus to AC.
Which is pretty damn good for a green item. Like, I'm very surprised it is not a blue.
Well, I mean,
You know what?
the base AC
I'll-
is 14, so it's 14 plus
I'll-
dex.
I'll shop it. Let's take a look here. I'll be looking at it pretty closely here, kind of looking at my gear, seeing how it all fit together. What color is Leopold's?
I
Color
don't
of the
believe
scales.
I ever thought
Pick a color.
about that. Hold on. There is. I can think of like lore color that it should be lore wise. It's gonna spend like 5 million hours for me to look it up, though, because
I kind of want this armor too.
Shut up.
I am
Thank you,
going
your
to simply say for the time being that they are blue, knowing for the fact that it's wrong, because I don't want to spend 5 hours for me looking this up.
It's alright, you spray painted yours.
I have to scroll back in our DMs.
Can we say that my set looks like a gray, like a blackish green?
You could definitely get that, yeah.
Fuck yeah. And you said it was like 1,500 gold?
I'll say, just rather than RPing everything, just go ahead and give me a persuasion check. And I said between 1,500 and 2 grand. So I'll start at 2 grand, and we'll see what you're able
Oh, I'm
to
not
get.
very good at persuasion. Actually, I'm alright. I'm alright.
You're gonna have to tell me what you roll, because I have not gotten back into Forge.
I restarted it. Oh, you crashed again.
And I didn't want to deal with it, considering we were 20 minutes from session end.
Ooh. That is a 22.
The 22. You are able to get it down to 1,600.
Pog. Done.
Okay. So 1,600 gold pieces for a set of Serpent Scale Mail. Yes?
I am right behind him. Do I also get it for that price?
I would say that if you guys approached together and tried to get 2 sets, yes.
I am gonna look over at Rikus and say, "Can you spot me 600?" I'll pay you
Actually,
back.
no.
Because you can.
How much can you spot him, Rikus? How much are you willing to spot him?
Right?
It eats into my emergency funds.
It eats into my emergency.
Yeah. How much are you willing to spot him?
Why don't you ask Leopold?
Who is
I
not
hear ya.
in this scene?
I know. And
I
I'm
would.
going to
He's
turn to
rich
the
on
I'm
that.
going to turn
I
to
hear
the armor keep and say
Okay.
we intend on buying. He's just needs to go ask his sugar daddy for some money.
Do not call
Can you-
me his sugar daddy.
You're not there.
Can you hold the price for us just for this evening?
If you don't have the money, just say so, Rikus. Or are you worried that I won't pay you back? I will.
You won't pay me back.
The shopkeep is just like very awkwardly sitting behind the counter, just like
Lin,
going
as they're arguing, Linen's gonna slip through. Excuse me, can I get some
Can I
protection for my robes?
some
Like
what?
turn it into a protection for my robe. You know, I don't know. I want to turn these robes into like a +1, so I have a bit more AC.
Like a cloak of protection?
Yeah,
Um,
something like that.
yeah, sure. He will unfurl out a cloak of protection.
Oh,
And
nice.
say, this right here will provide at least some protection to your clothes and body.
How much is it?
That will be 750 gold pieces.
Okay.
Rikus is just imagining Linen just like
Yeah, sounds good.
Turns to Rikus.
Turns to I
Can you,
guess.
can you
No,
bump
I'm
and
good.
change?
No, I'm good. I'll buy that.
Here, like, leans over to Linen.
Yeah.
You have 600 more?
Yes, but I wanted to buy some potions, but kill.
Could also
You know,
ask
could you?
Wayne.
Yeah, could you do a persuasion check real quick?
Yeah, it's his strong suit.
I will make it. I will make it DC 12.
Where is Sakir's money going? He's made just as much.
I
as
paid for the
everyone
sending
else.
stones.
I'll make it DC 12 because Linen like knows that you have like or values your your contribution a lot.
They're also roommates.
You
Yeah.
guys are
Persuasion.
roommates.
Okay, I have to roll an
And they
11 or
were
higher,
roommates.
which is statistically not something I can do. Right? So here we go. Yes! I did it!
Okay.
What
Yeah.
What a roll!
You get 600 from me.
What did he roll?
He rolled 16
15.
total.
Oh my god.
16 total, yeah.
Yeah, 15.
I'll need a +1.
Yeah.
Finally.
So that's. Yep. Okay.
You give it to me, I was like, thank you. I
you
can
go.
assure you I will pay it back in
Alright.
full. And then I turn to Rectus.
I
And
mean,
then
we
to the
live
shopkeep.
we live in the same apartment. I know where you live.
Alright.
Alright. No need to threaten. You can
I'm
trust me.
not threat. What do you mean? I'm not threatening.
So,
Once again, Zach is giving people money.
do you have anything that you would like to purchase?
Stuff that I can't afford, probably.
What exactly are you looking for?
Well, I'm looking for robes or something that just give me a little bit more oomph. That don't require attunement.
I was gonna say we're not there.
Or-
We're not there yet.
Are better versions of something I already have, and the only thing that I can find is a robe of the Archmagi.
That's not happening.
No.
No.
When we find Stolius, just steal his.
And I know that's a little bit out of my price range, probably. So,
Yeah.
So your best bet would probably be a focus of some sort, but I would assume you probably already have one.
yeah, I've already got a +1 on that, and I've got a cloak of protection. I'm just sitting at 13 AC and 3 slots used, so I would probably try and pick up another diamond because I'm sure one of these fools are going to go down, and I'm going to have to help them.
Okay, so 300 gold pieces for a diamond.
Yep.
Okay, will do. Is that everybody's shopping trip?
I have some studded
I'll
long
say
leather I
if-
can give you.
If
can't
I
remember.
can join in on the scene, I would like to purchase a set of Rakitakis for myself and Yvonne.
Okay. Just for the funnies, and because they all had like the same type of item, they probably would have made it to your house before you left, considering you took a bath.
Yeah.
And I only took like a 3-minute
And other times.
a wash up.
So we're going
I did wash
to
myself up though.
end this session as Leopold,
there was-
as you've gone down and collected some items. As you're walking up the stairs, you hear a knock on the door.
There was one more thing I wanted to.
Okay, yes, Leopold.
No.
No, you mean
Go ahead,
linen?
Go ahead.
Linen.
How much is a potion of haste?
Potion of haste is gonna be putting you down 400 or 500 gold pieces, depending on.
I don't have enough. Damn.
Potions of haste are expensive.
Damn. Oh well.
So, we're gonna end the session as Leopold, you hear a knock on the door, and Yvonne is going to answer. So, I hope you guys enjoyed a giant amalgamation of crashing issues. I'll try and figure that out. It's probably something going on with OBS. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. But I'll say Sakir, or fuck, I mixed up the brothers. Rakus. I'm saddened you didn't think to get Yvonne a boat present.
You don't know what I have in my
Inventory.
inventory.
I don't think you know what you.
But
have
it wasn't
in your
mentioned.
inventory.
I have way too many things in my apartment and in that one singular chest that my little pony carries around.
He says My Little Pony like it's not just a full-on warhorse. Anyway, gentlemen, I hope you guys had a good evening. I'm gonna go ahead and end our recording there.
Bye bye.
Bye.